This is weigh-in for fight 241. It was for a 108-pound IPCC World Championship belt. It's my opponent, Nong Benz, who just weighed in. I'm not 108 pounds. I weighed in at 101.8, and that's the promoter in the white shirt to the side of me. I had to get back on the scale because nobody believed that I was weighing in that light for a title. People don't know how small I am. It's ridiculous. I've fought Nong Benz before. I think she knows that I'm smaller, but I don't think that she knows I'm that much smaller. That's her trainer there in the glasses. This is up in Chiang Rai. It was crazy hot up in Chiang Rai that day.
How many pounds was she?
So Kevin's asking me what my weight was. I think she weighed in at 107.7 for the 108 mark. And this is a place called Coco Land, which I think they're trying to promote as like a new destination point up in Chiang Rai. So sometimes they'll have these really big events at new resorts and things like that in order to bring people. This is at the venue at night. I was the 10th fight on the card and ended up being the 9th fight on the card, but that's still so deep into the card. That's hours into the card, and they really start kind of when people have filled the seats. So it was quite late by the time I was actually getting in the ring. This is Dang, who was my trainer at Lana Muay Thai when I was up in Chiang Mai for the first 2 years I was in Thailand. And now he corners for me when I'm up in the north. I like him very, very much. He has a very even energy, and he knows me. I always like having Dang around me. So we're coming over to put our gloves on, my gloves on. This is the fight before mine. So you're basically like on deck, and they'll have official people who put the tape over the laces and stuff when your gloves have been put on. That's the crowd. They're all looking at me. I was the only Westerner on the whole card. And there were 3 title fights that night, all women. There was a 100-pound title fight, which is the weight I actually should be fighting at. And that was my opponent's little sister. And then 108 was us. And then there was a 112 title as well that went, not the fight right before me, but the one before that. So you might see people taking photos with the belt and things like that, which is the woman from Hong Kong who won the 112-pound title before me. Yeah, there they are taking pictures in the background. And I basically just like move around, stretch out, kind of get my heart rate up a little bit before going in the ring. But again, this is fight 241. I've done this a couple of times, so my energy before a fight is pretty relaxed. I definitely still get nervous. People ask me if I still get nervous, and I do. But it's a different quality of nervous. It's like just kind of your body and mind getting ready to have that kind of awareness for the action that you're going to be facing. I wasn't sure what to expect from this fight. I've fought Nong Benz before a few times, and I know that she knows me and I know her. But with a belt on the line, I felt like the pressure was high in terms of she would be fighting to win this title because there's more emotional investment and like face on the line. And then for me, I was really, there's the referee giving a thumbs up. For me, it was really important to honor my gym, and I really wanted to get a photo for the wall. I know that sounds really unimportant and like a kind of like beginner ambition, but when I was going into this fight, my thoughts were I want a photo for the Petrograng wall. So that motivated me, and I didn't want pictures of my opponent in Muay Siam, which is the Muay Thai magazine and newspaper, saying that she'd beaten me. So I kind of had this positive and negative motivation going in. There's Nong Benz. She's very opposite from me. I was watching her as she was getting in the ring, and she's all like pageant smiles and sweet. She's very pretty. People love watching her, and I'm not that. I'm very serious. I'm polite. I do all of the I don't know. I do all the things you're supposed to do, but I'm not like performing my femininity in the way that she does. And I'm totally not knocking her for it. I think it's kind of amazing how different we are. The announcers actually talked about how when female fighters go in the ring, they have to put their mongkon on after, because we go under the bottom rope, whereas men go over the top rope. I've never heard Thai announcers discuss that. It's very interesting that they're talking about that. Kind of like informing the crowd of this. So they got right into it, which was really nice. This part right here, this is the Wai Kru portion where you bow to your corner, and you're supposed to think of your mother, your father, and the king or your trainer. Like there's a trinity, and most people have the same three that they think of. I always think of Master K, who's my very first trainer. I think of Kru Nu, who's my current trainer, and then often I'll think of like Dieselnoy or Karahat, or who I'm like trying to pull influence from into the ring. But when I was in the corner just there, I was thinking about Bamrung, who is my trainer Kru Nu's father and the founder of Petrungrung Gym. Going into this fight, I told him I was going to fight for a title, and I asked him to give me a blessing, which he does for the Thai boys when they're going to fight at Lumpania Rajadamnern in Bangkok. And I've seen him do this for many of the fighters, and I've never asked him to do it for me. And it was this very distinct moment, one in my asking, but two in him giving it to me, that when I went into the ring and in the corner when I'm having that moment of Wai Kru, I always know where my head's at in that moment, who I'm thinking of and how steadily I'm thinking of them. And I was thinking about Bamrung and how I wanted to honor that blessing with my performance, and wanting to, I don't know, win and bring truth to that blessing that I had asked for. Like, because I asked for it, I wanted to really perform to honor it. Kevin says that in the pace of my Ram Muay, he can always tell how focused I am. Like if I'm rushing it, my head's kind of going too fast. Nong Benz has a really beautiful Ram Muay. You can see what I was talking about before. She's got that smile, like looking around in her performance of it, of being watched. I'm like imitating Rahu, this semi-demonic demigod. It's like not the same thing at all. Sylvie. These people who you can see behind the ropes right there, that's the gambling section, and they're all standing on ladders. So you'll see like hand motions from the bookies and things like that. But that side of the ring was very loud. The announcers are getting very excited about the end of my Ram Muay. They really like that executioner part that comes from Master K. My Ram Muay is all from Master K except for the way that I slash down at the very end, and the pieces that are Rahu. Those two I added myself, but the rest of it all comes from my first trainer, Master K. When I arrived at the venue at like, I don't know, 6:30 or something, we're actually fighting pretty close to midnight. We had to take a picture with the belt because the belt had come late. It like needed some kind of adjustments or something. And I had to go get Nong Benz from, she was sitting in the back of this truck. And when I went to grab her, I noticed she had like a full face of makeup on. I didn't think about it at the time, but thinking about it now, it's because she wants to look really good in the photos that she'll get if she wins the belt. It's like totally the same motivation as mine of like being prepared for that moment of exposure, I guess. So we weighed in the day before the fight, which means that though Nong Benz weighed in at 107.7, she's definitely bigger today. So she's probably pretty close to the weight that she normally is when we fight. at other stadia where we're not weighing in for things. I think her walk around weight is probably around like 52 and a half, 53, something like that. So that's probably close to what she is now. You'll see our size difference right here. Jesus. I told myself that I just wanted to stay closer in this fight because I knew that would give her problems. I don't know that I fully succeeded in that, but my commitment to it was there, which is like a kernel of getting in there. She's southpaw. I've fought her southpaw before, and I've actually had a lot of success with that. I was switching a little bit in this fight, but I was coming at her orthodox mostly because I'm trying to get more into a state of freedom and flow. Mainly I wanted to go after this front leg. She trains with another woman who I've fought a couple of times, also a southpaw, who I interrupt this front leg, and they put so much Vaseline on that front leg because they know I'm going to go after it. It's a good way to get past that. But the difference in our reach is so much that what's close for me is way closer than what's close for her. I just need to cut off her kicking range like crazy. I think I was pretty calm. I've been trying to work on this thing that Krunu introduced the concept to me. It's called Ning. Ning means like peaceful or quiet or like unperturbed. So even though she's kind of jabbing me in the face, like not turning my head and creating distance to get away from that, I'm still stepping back here, but like appearing undisturbed by the things that are coming after you. That's something that you can't really try to do, you just are. And I'm spending more time in that mental space in my fights, which is really good for me. I've seen it more probably in my last 4 fights. Here, Kevin told me that I had to clinch in the first round, and I only got into it in the last like 2 seconds, but I did start. This is Tae Win. He was my very first trainer at Lana when I first came to Thailand. And he tells me all the time, we were sitting on the VIP stage together before the fight, and he was yammering at me about how I need to be more calm and less stiff. This was amazing. He came up to me in the corner with just this huge grin and was like, "Minnie, you look so different." So he spent the whole time before getting in the ring telling me how relaxed I needed to be, and then was astounded by seeing this thing I was just talking about, this Ning Ning thing. It shocked him, and it was great to see it in his face when he came over. Dang is like, no problem. He's coming over and telling me to step on my kicks and to keep my hands up and things like that. You can sometimes have many voices in the corner, especially when you have people who are like right up against the stage. You'll get like gamblers and people who you don't know at all, like grabbing your leg and telling you they want you to punch or clinch or whatever. It can be pretty overwhelming, but when you've had a lot of experience with it, you kind of know how to tune out certain voices and how to focus in on others and things like that. People have told me how they want me to fight my entire career, so I've become pretty good at following the advice that makes sense to me and not following advice that doesn't make sense to me. But I'm not always right in the one that I choose. Sometimes Kevin's giving me great advice and I don't listen to it. So I was going right in the last round, which is a problem because I'm like walking into her power. So Kevin reminded me that I need to go left, and I started out going left really good at the beginning of this, and then when I get like I'm trying to strike, I start to like glide right again. But she's just bouncing that front leg, so my investment in just hounding that front leg, because she's trying to use it as a distraction. I got past her. This is my range. My range is very close, and I was landing some pretty good knees in the clinch. She was landing some heavy knees in the clinch as well. Hers are just coming to the side, but oh man, they were heavy. With our size difference and with the power she was putting on them, I've never felt her knees like that in a fight before. I'm doing long clinch here, which I've been working on with Tanadet Torpran 49. He is the master of long clinch. You can see that in the Muay Thai Library. If you go to my Patreon, it's an hour-long session working on just that, and I'm so happy that it's coming into fights because it's really hard to deal with for my opponents. Look at that size difference, Jesus. I've landed like 20 kicks to the waist in my entire career, and there I just landed 2. There we go, there's another one. Fix the hair, come in. I was trying to punch her body. I'm really good at body punches when I'm relaxed in training, but less so in fights because I'm staying too far away. She's yanking on my head really good right here. That was a good moment in the clinch for her. She needs to keep doing stuff like that, and I need to be like turning and moving her off. If you can turn and knee, it like doubles your impact on things. Oh, those stepping knees. I'm short, so I don't get to do those stepping knees very much. My tall opponents are great at them. Just because I'm short doesn't mean I can't do it, and I really, really want to start pulling those into fights because they're so beautiful.
Sylvie, you have to pull her off the rope.
So Kevin's telling me I have to pull her off the ropes because he saw in that clinch exchange when she got a pretty good lock and it like stagnated. That's not good for me because the ref comes and breaks it, and really the way that I win fights is in the clinch. I'm not going to win a like striking fight, especially against someone who is so much longer and taller than me and bigger than me. It's not my game. I think Tae Win was telling me to punch her body in order to open up a punch to the face. The last time Nong Benz and I fought, I knocked her out with a right cross, right on the jaw, which was amazing. So I definitely understood what he was saying to me, especially if you punch the body, you can get people kind of like dropping their chin a little bit, and then they kind of like fall into your punch. I don't have tons of experience with punching people well, but it's something that I'm working on, and definitely for this fight was thinking a lot about body punches. So going into round 3, because this is a title fight, they score every single round. I think that they like turn in scorecards at each round, but in a traditional Muay Thai fight, round 3 is when it really starts to pick up. So I felt that I had been doing pretty well in the fight, but you always have to turn that the volume up a little bit on every single round. You can see the change in her. She's starting to have this like come get me movement that she didn't have in the last round, but I'm trying to charge through it a little bit. I've overturned a little bit in this clinch, but I'm still able to score. I basically just need to tie her up and tear her down as much as I possibly can. Kevin's saying you got to get off the rope because when we're over and like stuck on the rope like that, it just gets broken the way it did right there. I need to keep moving. When I tell myself I need to stay close, I'm talking about at this range, like I need to close in, but I need to stay close so that I can get to that absolute clinch range. She has heavy kicks, man. The first time we ever fought, she kicked me with a left kick that like stayed with me forever, and I remember it more than is necessary. Here I have a nice lock. She has a lock as well, but I'm trying to like push her arm down. Krunu taught me to like be really diligent. Oh, so that was 2 knees in the same spot, I think into her liver. And I knew that she was going down, but it took me a second. Like, even though I knew the fight was over, it took me a second to realize that I had also won the belt. So I did that little cocky, put a belt on it move that I'd thought about before the fight. This is Pommy in the jean jacket who's in her corner. She's the 118-pound Northern champion. Nong Benz is the 112 or 108-pound Northern champion. So I've fought both of them. They're both much bigger than me, very tall. I don't do a lot of this stuff where like after the fight there's a celebration of coming in and giving like a belt or a trophy or something like that. A lot of fights it's like you win and you're out kind of thing. So there was this kind of gratifying moment of having celebration immediately after a fight, which I'm really not accustomed to. This belt was so big, I didn't think it was going to fit on any of the 3 women who would win it that night. But look at how huge it is. It's got all this metal and like chains and things on it. And they don't let you keep the belt, but they let you keep that trophy that says you won the belt. I was so happy that I was going to get a picture for the wall. Guys, it's amazing that that's so important to me, but it really, really is. And my picture is now on the wall, and I'm like so proud of it. When Pinu hung it up, he actually moved a photo of a fighter who's no longer at our gym, who is actually on paper, on surface, like a really important fighter, and he moved that one to put my picture up, which is incredible. I was proud of myself for that knockout win. Is good. And I was very happy with the changes in my clinch that have been coming through in the last couple of fights. One of the reasons I have to step on the scale twice to show that I'm actually 101.8 pounds is because I fight much bigger people and win like this. And people just hear from their fighters, I hate fighting Sylvie, or she's so strong, or anything like this. And so it doesn't come off as Sylvie's so tiny, whereas when you actually look at us standing in the ring together, I'm quite small. Here's the promoter walking through. You get to take photos with everybody. They get very excited. The crowd will come up and take pictures with you like this. It's like you're the Easter Bunny or something. You just kind of stand there and people come up and take selfies. My favorite one was as we were walking back to the car, a young Thai woman, probably like 17, was waiting to get in the ring, and her mom came up and asked if I would take a picture with her. That was my favorite photo that was asked for. It's always funny too, because you get to see how people don't know how to work their own phones. Which I have moments like that where I don't know how to flip it, or like it suddenly puts itself in slow motion or something. This is Pete Hong. He promotes female fights up in the north. He's the one who contacted me for this fight. He's going to start a program up in the north. Hey, I am out in Chiang Rai, which is outside of Chiang Mai by quite a lot, and I fought on this pretty big card. It was for a belt that I'm going to have to look up the initials for because I don't know. It's 4 initials, but I won 108 pounds, so I'm the 108 pound something belt that I'll look up. I fought against Nong Benz at Sakchatri, using her old name. She's really tall, she's bigger than me. We weighed in yesterday. Day before weigh-ins, you might as well not weigh in because there's no fucking difference the next day. I weighed in at 101.8. She weighed in at like 107.7 or something for this 108 pound belt. That's my walking around weight. She definitely cut, so it's basically the same as when we would fight at Top Pay, which is why when people talk to me about like, oh, blah blah blah, and I'm like, I fought a champion like Tanan Chinook at her fucking walk around weight, is because like if you're weighing in at my weight and it's that big of a difference, it's never any different like the next day. Day before weigh-ins make no difference. Anyway, I won by knockout, I think in round 3, but I'm also gonna have to look that up. I don't remember, but I'm really happy. I think that I fought pretty good for what I was trying to do. I was really trying to stay a lot closer, and I'm sure when I watch it I'll have a better idea of what was going on, but I knocked her out with knees because I am Sao Knockling Cow and that's what I do. So a million thank yous to Krunu for giving me so much clinching and sparring all the time now, to Care About, who's the one who I clinch and spar with all the time, and to Meg, who also clinches with me and has sparred with me a couple of times now. I'm gonna buy you kids, they're not kids, I'm gonna buy my sparring partners and clinching partners some kind of nice treat, I don't know, for having put up with all of the clinching and sparring that honestly I really, really love, but is toughening me up to a great degree. So this is fight 241, win by KO, another one in the ledger, and I've got some pictures of the heaviest belt in the world for you guys. Thank you to Dang for cornering for me and Taewin jumping in as well. I'll talk to you guys later.